Joe Hopkins here, and guess what? Here in America, it's election season again. We got a big presidential election coming up, and I'm here to repeat a message that I've said before. I said this 4 years ago. Vote for nobody. Nobody! And I'll tell you why. I've looked at all of this crap. I hear all the ads. I see the debates. I hear all this crap. Everybody shouting from the left and the right. And I'm sick of it. I'm damn sick of it. What I've found is our two parties. Okay, Republican, we got Democrat. And they both say things I really agree with and lump it in with things that I find I don't agree with at all. And I'm not going to go into specific policies, but I've noticed everybody kind of feels this way a bit, where you're just kind of either picking the party that all your friends and family like, or you're picking the party that you find least fucked up, or you agree with more than you disagree with. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because the things I disagree with, I really disagree with. And both sides will throw in just a couple things that are really extreme and patently ridiculous to appeal to, like, those handful of bastards on the very ends. But those are the most loudmouth bastards, ain't they? They run their mouths the most. They raise the most hell. You hear them the loudest. The most ridiculous shit is only shit that's there because a handful of people yell really loud. The loudest guy in the room is right. Isn't that how it works? So I get to choose between voting for this bunch of dipshits or that bunch of dipshits. I would really like it if we had more parties. I think part of the problem is the way we go about voting. Our election system favors a two-party system, right? I watched a really good video on this on Veritasium. You should look it up, right? The mathematics of voting. And it'd be great if we could have more parties, mostly because maybe somebody would take the stuff that makes sense from both of them and put it together and just... And I get tired of the titles too, liberal, conservative. Most of what that changes. What's liberal and what's conservative changes throughout time. It has. It's ridiculous. And both sides pretend like they still believe the same things that they believed 40 years ago. I've been alive long enough to know that's not true, okay? It changes. Their ideas change. Society changes. We have to change. The policies, ideas, the stuff we're trying to do has to change with the times because we change. Things change. The country changes. But to pretend like it's always been, it's dumb. But people do it. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with all the yelling. I'm fed up with the rhetoric. I'm fed up with being just put down by people from both sides. I'm not liberal enough to be on the left. I'm not conservative enough to be on the right. I'm somewhere in the middle, like 90% of Americans. But because I won't personally identify with one party or another, the one side calls me fascist and the other side calls me communist. Aren't those just words? Jeez. I just want to be me. So, come election day, I'm going to stay home and drink a beer. That's what I'm going to do. And I think you should too. I think if you're fed up with it, we should stay home in droves just to show them that we're sick of this crap. Voter turnout sucks anyway, right? Everybody's out there telling you, get out the vote, go out and vote. You got to vote. But all the people saying it all have an agenda. They want one side or the other to win, and they're hoping to convince you to vote for the side they want to win. Everybody, you need to vote. No, you don't. You don't need to vote. What difference does it make anyway? They always say, I hate this idea. The whole, are you any better off than you were 4 years ago? You know what? I've lived through 8 presidencies now, and in my personal opinion, who's in the Oval Office hasn't changed my how well I'm doing one damn bit. Every time my life has gone up or down, it's been doing better or worse, it has to do primarily with decisions that I made in my life and my own attitude toward things. I don't see where the president has made any difference to me personally. Now, I know differences are made, right? It's an important job. They're the chief bureaucrat. They do a lot of stuff that makes things do the things they do. And most of it isn't the stuff everybody thinks they do. They make a lot of promises they can't keep. They can't do the things that the public think they can. And everybody gets frustrated because, well, you know, they promise to do this, they promise to do that. I've learned something. Never tell people they can't do that. They promise, but they can't do that. Congress does that. Or, you know, the Supreme Court does that. The president doesn't do that. Don't tell people that. They think that motherfucker, if they get the right guy in there, will wave a magic damn wand and make everything perfect for them. As long as you vote for the right guy. If we can just get that right guy. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. And personally, I've just gotten to a point where I don't care who's president. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I work in state government, and the state I work in, when I don't even live in the state that I work in, but when the state I work in elects a governor, that matters more to me than the presidential election, because that guy's actually my boss. And I care more about the elections in the state I work in than the one I live in. Because who's governor of the state I live in doesn't matter as much. Because I don't work for him. I actually work for the guy over in that other state. That's the one that matters to me. It matters more than presidential elections. And the only reason that governor election matters to me is because I have to put up with the policies he passes, because most governmental policies affect the people who work for the government more than they do the general public. I've learned that over the years, too. All of those policies you think are going to change things, all it's going to change is the way some asshole in a cubicle has to go about their job. I don't work in a cubicle, but still, you know, that's mostly what it does. The president waves his magic wand and makes it harder on the employees, more or less. Right? And it might make it a little bit harder for you to do things when you have to deal with the governmental employees. The one policy I'd like to see them pass is to make my life easier at the DMV. How about that? How about when I go to renew my driver's license or register a car, you just make that easier. You can make that less of a painful experience. Right? I'm sure in about, 15, 18 years, something like that, I'm going to be dealing with Social Security, right? Less than 20 years from now, then I'm going to have to deal with them. And then I'm going to really want better policies for how to deal with that bureaucracy, you know? But in the meantime, if they could make tax season easier, just easy, and they have. Actually, I've noticed it's COVID that has gotten easier. Thank you, government, for having COVID force you to make this a less painful process. They did it with the DMV, too. It's easier for me to renew my driver's license because you can do it online now. They never would have done that if they didn't have to, if COVID hadn't made them. Every now and then, a plague forces them to do something they should have done decades ago. So, there you go. This season, vote for nobody. Yes, this November, stay the fuck home and kick your feet up, have a beer, watch some TV, listen to some tunes, play with your kid, have sex with your wife or husband. Most of my audience is male. I've seen that. So, yeah. But yeah, do something fun instead. It's what I say. Yeah. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.